important.
Yes.
What is it? Let's keep it. All right, we're going to call the Board of Adjustments meeting for July 16th to order. Everybody on the board is in attendance. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve minutes as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the minutes is approved. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Done and done.
All right.
Your turn.
All right, I'm going to call planning board meeting to order. All members are present today. I'll ask the board to direct their attention to the minutes of the previous meeting and entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So move.
I have a motion to approve them first.
So move.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'm going to open up the public hearing now. We'll call the first planning board application, which is CZ-4-2022A Piedmont Companies. The applicant is requesting to amend the site plan for CZ-4-2022, originally approved on June 2nd, 2022. To Eugene.
So that's just the background. You pretty much covered it, but it's the subject property is 5.87 acres in size and is located to the west of North Generals Boulevard, directly across from the intersection of Timken and North Generals Boulevard. On June 2nd, 2022, City Council approved a conditional rezoning to PRD to allow for 52 townhomes. So they've brought the site plan back to us. They've reduced the number of units to 37. They're asking for a reduced front setback and a reconfiguration of the layout, which we'll get to the site plan in just a moment. This is just an aerial showing you the properties. Some of the properties have been recombined. This one still hasn't, so it's two different parcels right now. But they'll take care of that prior to the project starting. It's just the street views of the area. This is, Timken is here, and that's the driveway to the house that's located there. This is across the street from Timken, looking at the house, and then the property goes to the south. So what they want to do is they've adjusted the site plan, and it'll allow better placement of the sewer line. Before there was an issue where it was like under the sidewalk, and this way it'll be in the road instead of under the sidewalk, and it makes it easier and it keeps it out of the walkways and the parking spaces. The completed townhomes would be further away from the view of the residents that live on Newcastle. You know, that was an issue with them, is the proximity to their property. The total units have been reduced from 52 to 37. The reduction in the number of units will have less impact on traffic in the area, and it will help them with their slopes and their drainage to move the property further from the creek and closer to the street. I'm going to show you the site plan, but before we do, I just want to show you this power line easement that's there. Timken is right across where this truck is. And if you look at the cursor, you see the power line, and then it goes down. That's a 30-foot electric easement going through there. Nothing can be built under that easement. And DOT has like 150-foot right-of-way on North Generals Boulevard. So I just wanted you to get a visual on where that easement is. I have a couple more pictures. That'll just give you a better visual. This is if you're standing on the property looking down the easement. I just want to show you because the units are going to be on this picture to the left of this power line. And that's just another visual. So when you look at this, they're asking to reduce the setback to 5 feet, and that sounds a little bit scary, but when you look at it, on this end, it's a 5 feet front setback, but these units would be 3 feet away, but at this end, it's 28 feet away, almost 29 feet away. So then you have the 29 feet plus the 5 feet plus the 30-foot easement, so it's not close to the road. This arrow right here, this is the edge of pavement, and you've got 85 feet from the pavement to the to the front setback. So I just wanted y'all to have a good visual and be able to get that in.
Actually, can you go back to that, Gene?
To the side.
Please.
Sorry. Do you need me to zoom in?
Yeah, 84 feet from edge of pavement.
80, I think it was 85. Oh, 84, you're right.
Is that right there?
Edge of pavement, yeah.
Then the
It's this line.
Yeah,
that was the DOT right away that was
That's to
150.
the center of the road.
To the center of the, well, no, that's to edge of pavement.
The 150.
The 150 would be center, or well, actually it'd be 75 from the center of the road. But they wanted you to get a visual on how far you would be from the pavement to the front setback line.
Got it.
And so you can see it's angled, so it's close on one end, but the other end it's not close.
My biggest question is this going to interfere with city utilities at any point in time? I know you said it's going to be built to the left of it. I mean, I just don't want to get us in a
Duke, that's a Duke power line that runs down through there, correct? And that's Duke that runs through there.
okay,
I don't think so. I mean, you can't build under it.
right, I get
They've
that.
got their easement and they make it bigger so that they have plenty of room.
Because I was looking, if you go to the left side, like those first 5 units, or 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 units. If that's the power line, it looks like it cuts right in front of there to
That's
the far
not-
left.
That is the setback.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's off of that.
Bottom line's your property line on where our cursor's at.
The bottom line is where the front setback would start, and the second line is the 5 feet.
All right, I got you.
Actually, the survey does not show the power line easement, but it would kind of be over the sidewalk a little bit. I don't have the visual on that, but let's see. Let's go back to the pictures.
But the bigger thing is, I mean, I just want to make sure that's not going to interfere. You know, say if something goes down power wise, and they need to get access, and you know,
I think that's why they make it a 30-foot easement, so that they've got plenty of room to get in there and work. Because the lines don't spread across 30 feet.
So this notes here says patios within sewer easement. Is the 5-foot section indicating the sewer easement? Is that what that is?
Patios within sewer easement to remain uncovered. I think
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that's the sewer easement because the sewer is through here. Do you? There is a. What do you want? The site plan or the picture?
It's pointing to these patios. on the
See, he's
back.
talking
Y'all
about.
see, y'all can't see this side. So this dotted line here is your current sewer easement.
Oh, I see.
Going down the middle of the road and then coming between these. This would be realigned during construction with a bypass.
And we'll get to that on the comments. There's
Yeah.
some comments about that.
But so to your question about the utility affecting it, without the setback, the sewer line will go through the parking spaces and the sidewalk. So any future maintenance 20 years down the road will be more cost incurring to the city to repair it then. So by putting it out in the street and moving the house, it hopefully reduces that.
And they do mean the street that runs through the project, not North Generals Boulevard.
Correct. Okay.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
When we did the rezoning, we have to look at the land use plan. So the land use plan that's listed, as well as the statements of consistency, are the ones that we used from the previous rezoning. Since we're not sitting a rezoning, it's just an amendment to the site plan. We just use the same approved statements in the land use. All of the conditions from approval from the original rezoning will still apply to this, but then in addition to that, we have some additional comments. Planning department just needs them to show all boundaries and setbacks on the plan, show the distance between each building. The PRD requires 25 feet between the buildings. City Water and Sewer commented that when they're moving the sewer line, they would need to install a bypass because the sewer has to remain in use while under construction. Soil and Erosion just commented that the slopes would need to be benched according to state standards, or they would need to use retaining walls. And then NCDOT had Travis Jordan, he said he had no issues with the reduction on that front setback. So staff does recommend approving the amended site plan as presented, approving the statement of consistency for approval of the amended plan, and that it be effective upon the signed conditions of approval. And if you have any questions, both Sandy and Justin from Piedmont Companies are here that they can answer if you have anything for them or if you have anything for me.
Either one, you want to make a comment, anything you want to say?
Unless you have any.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I give you the floor in case there was something that you wanted to come up and say. All right. All right. Okay. Then let's see. Is there anybody signed up to speak? There's not. Okay. All right. Then I'll just call for discussion, for board discussion only at this point in time. All right. What everybody got? Anything? Questions, concerns, comments? I wasn't looking just at you, John.
I was just letting you know.
I appreciate it. No.
Cut to the chase.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm always going to look around. I mean, Ronnie, you got everything answered on your side?
I do. I'm fine.
Good. We don't know anything? Okay. All right. Then I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the amendment as presented with staff recommendations.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Yeah, I know. Put two words together. All right, we'll go into our next hearing, which is CZ-3-2024A. The applicant is requesting to amend the site plan for CZ-3-2024 Lincoln Meadows Phase 2, originally approved on March 7th, 2024.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
So the applicant is requesting to amend the site plan for the conditional zoning 3-2024 Lincoln Meadows Phase 2. It was originally approved in March. The original application requested a conditional district rezoning of 71.2 acres of land from R8, R15, and RMF to PRD, which is Planned Residential District, to develop a residential community consisting of 80 single-family detached dwellings and 107 townhomes. The property is located along Wilma Sigmund Road, US Highway 321, and the end of Mallory Tie Drive, adjacent to Lincoln Meadows subdivision. The proposed amendment is to allow an adjustment of the proposed boundary line along the portion of the parcel that's zoned neighborhood business. The portion no longer in neighborhood business would then be rezoned to be included in the planned residential development. This is just the zoning that we had from before. This is an aerial showing you. These are the street views. This is from Mallory Tie Drive. And this is from Wilma Sigmund, and then this picture is from Mull Road. I'm going to show you the site plan, but the easier visual is this one, just so you can see. When we did the rezoning before, if you see the brown section that's neighborhood business, the PRD went straight across. And you can see the new darker blue color is all what was PRD, and then that straight line from neighborhood business. This little portion right here, to get the houses arranged the way they had it on the site plan, they cut into this little portion of neighborhood business. So they just want to redo the property line, so instead of it going straight across, it would curve down and then go back up. And the acreage is about the same, but that allows them to get those housing units in without them being a neighborhood business. It would just be PRD. And so they show it on the site plan as well. It's just a little bit harder to see. Actually, let me go to the, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna switch out on y'all real quick. Those site plans on the, you have to make it a JPEG file and it doesn't zoom in very well. So I just want to show you the one that we can zoom in on. Oh, that's the wrong, hang on. So when we zoom in, it was this section of housing was going to go into neighborhood business. This red line shows the neighborhood business line. And then the black line here is the new proposed line. And you can just see it allows them so that it's not in neighborhood business. It just would put it all in PRD. I'm gonna leave it there for you for a minute. Just tell me when you're.
They've kept it as two different parcels, right? They didn't. It hasn't been incorporated into one. So it's like, so that's going to stay neighborhood business. I'm just kind of curious, like, why keep that one section?
The neighborhood business. The original plan was that you would have single-family townhomes and then morph into neighborhood business. Mm-hmm. That's what the market calls for now. You want walkable communities. You want businesses close to your neighborhoods.
Right.
And so they just left that piece open for future use.
Okay.
And they haven't said anything about doing it. It could get sold and somebody else might develop it. Maybe they'll develop it. But the idea originally was in that neighborhood business that you would put some kind of businesses that would be compatible. It could be a coffee shop. It could be whatever.
Right.
Small businesses. Neighborhood businesses are light use, not heavy trafficked areas. Mm-hmm. So the idea was that you could put, something there that the neighborhood would like.
Gotcha.
An ice cream shop, a little restaurant, something like that. But this visual really shows it the best, where you can see the brown that's still neighborhood business and that they're going to change it to that red line. So the same thing, we use the same land use compliance information and the same statements from the previous rezoning. The only additional condition that we had, all the other departments didn't have any conditions. All the original conditions will apply, and then the planning department stated that if the amendment is approved, they would need to submit a subdivision plat to reconfigure the property line, as well as recording new deeds to show the property boundaries. So we do recommend approving the amended site plan as presented, approving the statement of consistency for approval of the amended plan, and that the zoning be effected upon the signed conditions of approval. And Ron's here if you have any questions for him, and if you have any questions for me.
Any other questions for Gene? None? Rob, you want to talk, or You want to sit back and enjoy your,
1 minute, do you mind?
go for it. It's all yours.
That's what I get paid to do. Can't show up and not speak. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, planning board members, Rob Brown, Jonas Law Firm. You could put a library on that commercial, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, on that commercial site, if you wanted to. I think I've got a visual that might help too. There's some confusion. Can I approach? Sure. I can
Yeah.
record, yeah. So this parcel right now that we're looking at is actually one parcel. So it just has two zoning classifications. So if you see, the parcel in question is about 6 acres, 5.95 acres, and that's it. But when you pull up the zoning map on that same parcel, part of it's zoned neighborhood business and part of it's part of the PRD.
Oh, it is all one parcel.
It's one parcel.
Okay, I
So
thought it was
once
two.
if you approve the rezoning to allow, we're basically swapping out acreage is all that we're doing. If you go back to that, what is that? Number 7, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, and you can see it there. We're basically just swapping out some of the existing PRD that you guys approved back in March and council approved, I believe, it's in April. And so giving some to the PRD and giving some back to the neighborhood business to keep the acreage the same, so it's no real change there. Additionally, there's no change on the density, no change on the unit count. It actually makes for a better site plan. We anticipated this was coming, but when we did the rezoning, we just wanted to get the rezoning done, then come back. This is what we call more of an administrative housekeeping type thing, and this is the way I'll present it to the council as well, if you guys approve it. So it's really just swapping out, and then we're gonna do a combination deed to make this all one parcel for the planned development, and then a separate parcel for the neighborhood business based on the zoning classification. It's just cleaning up the maps, really.
Did you have to have that additional part of that parcel added to that to keep the acres? Is that was the point? That was the point?
You mean that little piece that's going up,
Yeah.
Steve?
What's the point of that?
We did that just to keep the acreage the same because that one parcel was already zoned neighborhood business and we just didn't want to rock the boat with a whole full-blown rezoning. And as Gene mentioned, walkable activity is the big thing everyone's trying to do, so it'd be great to have a little retail center of some sort in there at some point. And our client wanted to keep that in there as a possibility and not just throw a bunch more houses in there.
All right. Any other questions? No, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Anybody here to speak? Anybody signed up?
She has questions for him directly. So.
Okay. All right. So after that, I will close the public hearing. We'll go into board discussion only. Questions, concerns, comments right now?
Cut and dry.
Yeah, I mean, especially since we're swapping out acreage for
Acreage for
acreage.
acreage.
Yeah, it's basically, I will repeat, Rob just said administrative at this point. So, any other comments or anything? All right, then I'll make a motion, need a motion for either approval or denial.
Motion?
A motion for approval, staff recommendations. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll go on to our third case today. That's ZTA-5-2022, zoning text amendments to chapter 153-121, WSW, watershed, overlay district of the UDO.
That is the accurate term.
It wasn't in parentheses, it was just, I just kept reading it. I feel like Ron Burgundy right there. I appreciate that.
We did it on purpose. So the Department of Environmental Quality has updated the water supply watershed ordinance for the state of North Carolina, and so we need to adopt the new ordinance, which allows our UDO to reflect the most recent version. We pretty much need to adopt it because if you don't have the updated version adopted, you are not eligible for FEMA funds in an event of an emergency. But it's just standard language that's been adopted across the state. So just individual units, we have to adopt it locally.
Okay.
So it was in your packet. I didn't pull it up. I only did the statement for approval, just because I'm sure that we all want to make sure that we're eligible for FEMA funds.
Any questions for Gene? Anybody? All right. There's nobody here to speak against it or for it or anything. I know that. I'll close the public hearing, go to board discussion. Any discussion by the board? No discussions? All right. Now I'm looking for either a motion for approval or denial.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion is approved. All right. I believe that wraps us up. I'll ask everybody for the planning board to sit tight just for a second after our meeting. We had some questions for y'all too. Other than that, then motion for adjournment. All right, got a motion? All in favor? Monty? All right, all in favor? Say aye. We are adjourned. There we go. Thank you.